Hey everybody. Well, today I was going to do the next part of my What I Got for My Birthday series of update videos. And today I was going to cover the electronic media type items that I received. Basically CDs and DVDs. Well, to start, I picked some of these items up a long time before my birthday, but anyway, this is Beyond Grand Canyon by Nicholas Gunn. And this is a pretty decent CD. It has a very kind of Native American tribal type atmosphere, of course, pertaining to the Grand Canyon. It's a very nice CD, but a little kind of nitpicky thing I have about this guy's music is that he seems to pick weird moments to end his songs. You know how like a typical song will have a conclusion, and it gives you a sense of closure about the song itself, you know? And, well, with this guy, I find it's just sort of like he picks a note and just sort of lets it end there. And it's kind of like, okay. But anyway, I will say though that the music itself is pretty good. And weird endings aside, I'd say the music is nice. And one bonus about this CD is that you actually get a DVD in which you get to see various pictures of the Grand Canyon itself while the music plays. And that's a nice bonus. I've watched that maybe a couple times, and it is pretty nice. So, decent little bonus there. And I picked that up for about, $5 at a half-price bookstore. Next we have a CD by the group called Elysium. This is a very weird CD. Now, I can't call it good and I can't call it bad, because it's a little bit of both. That's because some of the tracks on here are really cool. And then there are the tracks that are just like the most embarrassingly uber nerd fantasy style music you can even imagine. I mean, this stuff is bad. I mean, when it sucks hard. And it's just some of these tracks I never want to hear again just because of how embarrassingly bad they are. And yet there are other tracks on the CD that I think are pretty darn good. So it's kind of a hard way to define the CD. I can't say it's good, I can't say it's bad. It's there. I would recommend, if you have a way to sort of sample their music for free, try it out and judge for yourself what you think about it. I would say the good songs are worth it, but the bad songs, stay away. Anyway, next CD we have is Paint the Sky with Stars by Anya. And this is one of her CDs that I've known about ever since I started collecting New Age type music, but I've been putting off getting it for many years. Because since this is sort of a collection best of type CD, I figured I had most of the tracks that would be on here anyway, so I didn't want to go spending a lot of money on something like this. But it turns out that I found this at a half-price bookstore for only $3, and it turns out there are some pretty good songs on here that I didn't have. And probably the last, or one of the last CDs from Anya that I'll be picking up anytime soon, but anyway, I'm glad to have it. Next up, though, we have some of the items that I actually did receive for my birthday. And this one is called The Storm by Michael Stearns. And Michael Stearns is an artist I've enjoyed for many years. He's done some of my favorite CDs that I've ever heard, and yet I wouldn't say this is one of his best CDs, but it is still pretty good in and of itself. And I guess a way to sort of describe the music is it's sort of like a blend of ethereal, spacey type music mixed with kind of tribal, ethnic, earthy type sounds. And really interesting music, I have to say. This I ordered online at barnesandnoble.com. It was only about $9. And I would say, though, it's pretty accurately priced. Not the best, but good. And worthy of the $10 price tag. Anyway, moving on. I picked up this. Tibetan Chakra Meditations. And the reason I picked up something like this is not just because I'm into sort of new age type music, but because recently I've sort of discovered on YouTube these videos about Tibetan singing bowls and sort of the sounds they make. And the first half of this CD is basically the singing bowls in the background with some flute music playing in the front. And that's pretty good music just in and of itself. Then the second half of the CD is, as they describe it, just the chakras. And all of them are just basically the different toned singing bowls going by themselves. And it's a really interesting sound. Now, I'm not really buying into the whole Buddhist type belief that there's some kind of mystical quality to the resonance of the bowls or any of that kind of stuff. I'll admit there is some kind of affecting quality to the sounds of these bowls, but I don't really buy into the thought that there's some kind of mystical, magical energies that surround these things and all that stuff. I mean, if you want to believe that, fine. I'm not going to make you feel bad or wrong about it or anything like that. It's just a matter of my own personal thoughts on the matter. But regardless, this is a pretty decent CD and very relaxing. The next CD I picked up was Garden of the Gods by Deuter. And this is probably one of my favorite CDs of his now. The music on here it has stuff like flute music, somewhat tribal music, and then there's the type of music that kind of reminds me of the type of music you heard sort of at the end of the movie Gladiator. So if you know what that sounds like, then you got a general feel for the basic idea of what some of this music sounds like, and it's done very, very well. Even if you're not into the genre already, I would say pick this one up. Just try it. You probably will not be disappointed. One last CD, and this is The Magnificent Void by Steve Roach. And Steve Roach does a lot of ambient type work, and some have said that this is his best CD, and I'm inclined to agree to a certain extent. Basically, the mood of this CD is trying to capture what it would be like if you were like standing in emptiness, nothingness, or like closing in on a black hole and just like the immense, creepy, weird, otherworldly type mood that it would present. And this definitely captures that kind of a mood. In fact, some of the tracks are downright creepy, which is always kind of cool. But now we've got DVDs, and basically the first one I picked up was something I got before my birthday, but I kind of consider it a self-given birthday gift. James Cameron's Avatar. And initially this was one of those movies that I was never going to go see in the theaters. In fact, I didn't see it in the theater, which I kind of regret now. But point being, I kind of scoffed at the whole thing from the beginning. I figured, oh great, this is just another way for Mr. Cameron to make another $14 quadrillion and whatever. But no, I gave it a shot, and I'm pretty glad I did. and this movie is very, very, very good. Well, I'm sure there are very few people who don't know that already. Then, one of the last items here, Life, the BBC documentary, which they showed a version of this on Discovery Channel in America, but it was narrated by Oprah, and I didn't like that. I've heard this version is a lot better, and I've already watched a couple episodes, you could call them, and yeah, I'm a lot more happy with the way this one is done than the way the one on Discovery Channel is. Very nice, and the narrator really makes a difference. And sort of on a similar note, long time before I picked up this, or received that, I should say, I picked up the Planet Earth DVD set. And this one is also by BBC and narrated by David Attenborough. And in case you don't really know David Attenborough, Jurassic Park, John Hammond, his brother, that's David Attenborough. So they sound a lot alike, which is kind of weird because you hear the Attenborough voice from Jurassic Park talking about the natural world, and it's like just cool. But anyway, I also picked up this a long time ago, used at a local used disc store, and in some ways, I actually prefer Planet Earth to Life here. But anyway, they're both very, very good, and if you're into some of the nature type things, I would definitely pick up both. I mean, you can't go wrong. And anyway, that's about all that there is to show for now, and about all the time I've got, thanks to YouTube's new 15-minute time limit. Yay! But anyway, there will be more stuff to come in the following days, so stay tuned for that. And until then, catch you later, everybody.